I'm a bit of a lore enjoyer, a respectable connoisseur of all the different video game and media laws, but it was a bit of a surprise to me when I realized that Plants vs. Zombies has lore. I saw this video by Chopo, and I decided, hey, let's give it a look. So I asked permission to react. They said, go for it. I said, thank you so much. And now I'm going to learn about the Plants vs. Zombies lore, of which I have never played one of the games before, which may be sacrilege to some people because they're so popular and so loved worldwide. So let's see why.
The Plants vs. Zombies series has remained iconic and beloved for years. Throughout that time, though, there has been pieces of a puzzle that, when all connected, create a story that is unbelievable as it is absurd. So
really? You know what? That completely makes sense to me. The closest I've ever been to Plants vs. Zombies is my brother used to love playing that third-person shooter version of the game. I think it was called Garden Warfare or something along those lines. It did look pretty good, to be fair. It looked very fun.
Join me as I go over everything I could find in this world. Hi everybody, I'm here at the farmer's market. If there's anything I love more than buying things here, it's not doing that. I love me some free samples. Just gotta be careful with some of this stuff. I don't want to get any allergic reaction to tree nuts or anything. So
that's true. Dude, being allergic to nuts, I'm so sorry. If anyone allergic to nuts out there, I deeply apologize. It's not my fault, but no, I retract my apology. It's not my fault. But free samples, one of the best reasons to go anyway. Costco, free samples. Are you kidding me? Of course.
So I've actually talked about Plants vs. Zombies before when I rambled about how I could eat all the plants, but the story also has a good amount of stuff going on. Plants vs. Zombies takes place most prominently in this location
I thought the middle one said Gritty Park, and I was about to lose my mind.
Neighborville, on a version of Earth. Neighborville for sure is
Wait, Dave Manor, Weirden Woods, Town Center, Mount Steep, and Zomboss HQ. Okay.
the west coast of North America, and at minimum does have some stuff in Vancouver. The biggest challenge in this story is how unhinged everything is. Characters will act purely on instinct, and needless to say, there's points where I need to take a step back and wonder if my younger self would be proud or disappointed we get to this point. Today's story begins like all stories do. The dawn of time. The in-universe government provides a brief
Don't lose your heads. Help is possibly coming. How do these zombies come
rundown
about?
of the history of zombies in this universe. It takes exactly 30 minutes for the first zombie to just like pop into existence. Okay then. Just like everything, it just shows up out of nowhere.
Why are they all businessmen? The real zombie is the office worker. The person that has to go into the workplace every single day around people that they don't like, around people that they don't want to be around, with unreasonable bosses that ask too much of them. Your Honor, I put it forward to the court. This is not a zombie. This is a victim of capitalism.
Where now the zombies aren't like ordinary zombies in this case.
Okay, that's never mind. Okay, there's pirate ones. Yeah, those are probably zombies actually.
They're more like an equivalent to humans that can be born and come from the undead. They aren't like a virus hellbent on spreading, more like World War Z or something. They're very stupid humans who want to eat brains to get smarter. That's pretty low on the zombie scale.
Oh, okay, that's not too bad. We can handle those. I mean, plants can handle those.
Version of history is basically the same as ours, but not really. We actually do know some important moments in history that revolved around zombies. When Greek engineers invented the catapult in 431 BC, the zombies stole it to launch themselves closer to brains. In 100
They stole to launch themselves. You know what? They should have stolen the trebuchet.
60 BC, Dedus Zombius took over the Roman Empire by eating all of those who opposed him. In 1492 AD, the Pope survived zombies by hiding in a cupboard for a week. In 843 AD, a zombie accidentally became the king of Germany when he worn the crown when he was bored. One time in 1687, the zombies realized
This is canon?
sounds like R, and that's when they became pirates, only to
That's such a good reason to become a pirate, honestly. They were just looking for a reason. I mean, who wouldn't look for a reason to be a pirate? If you could, on the seven seas, in this day and age, go out with your cannons, with your swashbuckling swords, you'd probably get scurvy. You'd still get scurvy.
changed their minds after a year because they all got seasick. In the most recent centuries,
They can get sick? If they can get sick, that implies that disease can beat them. And if disease can beat them, then eating brains should give them disease because it's raw brains. I'm pretty sure there's diseases in raw brains, right? I feel like I have a disease in my brain. It's called I spend too much time on Twitter.com.
zombies mellowed out a bit, finally chilling out, especially in 1921, when they all decided to work in a whoopee cushion factory. I should note the
Did the zombies fight in the First World War?
perfect thing to counter zombies
Which side did the zombies take in World War II? I'm just curious. I just want to know.
in this story were the Vikings because of their metal helmets. Then one day in 1968, this company called Bloom and Doom Seed Co. was founded by Barbara Johns, who doesn't really matter. This is hardly acknowledged, but this is a company where all the plants get mass produced based on hints we've been given. But who's responsible for that?
And they're given sentience? There's a little bit of magic going on here.
This is Christopher David Blazing III, better known as Crazy Dave. He's a funny little freak who's allegedly 36 years old. Just for future reference, I'm gonna assume the time points are the respective release dates of each game. But why is Crazy Dave crazy, you might be asking? Well, we don't know. If I were to guess, it's either because of experiments and his big old brain making him so unhinged, or he got some wacky wild tapeworms from eating food off the ground. That just...
Or maybe it's the zombies that are constantly invading that would put PTSD into anyone. Even the bravest of souls would not be able to survive such a horrific existence.
Established to be a bad habit of his. One day, somewhere between 30 minutes after the dawn of time and May 4th, 2009, Crazy
Oh, that's pretty, it's pretty easy to narrow that one down.
Dave invented the first ever of these plants, a little pea shooter. He did this for a science fair, winning it, and as a result made a new lifelong nemesis. Now this is Dr. Zomboss, the commander of the modern zombies. He's also the creator of zombies throughout the franchise after losing to Davy's little science expedition. His entire
Wait, is he created the Dawn of Time?
life path transitions to wanting a worldwide apocalypse because of this specific instance. After 2 years of studying death and stuff, he quickly acquired a doctorate in Thantology. That's the study of dying and stuff. And being freaking peeved from that
You can get a doctorate in that? The study of dying?
one science fair, probably decades ago at this point, Zomboss figures out how to bring back the dead, thus allowing him to create an uprising. And if you're wondering how or
Hold on, so the zombies existed, but they were also created by Mr. Zomboss, who I suppose is a human, but not a human, unless the zombies are just a separate species. Like they mentioned, actually, in this video, that the zombies were humans that are just really stupid and like to eat brains. But now, on top of that, you can also bring additional zombies back from the dead, is what I'm trying to understand here.
why Zomboss is the only zombie who made the rest of the zombies and why there's not any other ones. We'll get into that, don't you worry.
Okay.
May 5th, 2009, Zomboss says, alright, shit's about to get bananas. I want this guy gone and everyone dead, except for the dead guys. The dead guys are my guys, they can stay. It's a zombie apocalypse. All our lawns are getting invaded and whatnot until Dave pops in and goes, don't worry, chief. That guy kind of sucks at existing. His forehead looks like a cheap stress ball.
It looks like if you popped him, you could do it like a balloon. Just take something remotely sharp, like a sharpened pencil, and just go, and then Mr. Zomboss would be exploded, and his brains would be everywhere. Wait a minute, Mr. Zomboss has the biggest brains. Why don't the zombies betray him and consume his brains because his are the biggest, certainly bigger than Crazy Dave's? Or I suppose maybe not, actually, because Crazy Dave can create the flowers that are sentient. Crazy Dave just created life. Oh, you think it's interesting to create unlife and bring things back from the dead? Crazy Dave creates sentience. He is God!
My seed. No, not that other kind. Now, of course, Crazy Dave is established to be a little bit cray-cray. He makes you spend a lot of money on survival equipment despite the apocalypse. His plans
Another victim of
are
capitalism.
outlandish a lot of the time, but trust me, amigo, he's a chaotic good friend. This is the face of a friend. Take his little seeds, bing bong, now we got an army. Following this, for the next several days, we're at the mercy of Dave's missions and what he offers to us, what he sells, what plants we get, and rather than go to any part of the world to be zombies, Zomboss is hellbent on ending exclusively Dave's neighbor and wastes his entire army attempting to do so. At the end, Zomboss
His entire invasion is localized in one person's garden.
is about to attack
You have failed to submit to our rightful claim. Be advised that unless you comply completely, we'll be forced to take extreme action. Please remit your home and brains to us forthwith. Sincerely, your friend and lover. Mwah, kisses. Dr. Edgar Zomboss.
himself. Dave's gonna tell us the weakness. Oh, never mind, he's being held hostage now.
No!
Antics ensue, and Zomboss loses to Cabbages. They have a temporary treaty and a dance party ending.
I'm beginning to see why no one else is taking this seriously. If Cabbages can beat Dr. Zomboss, then it's really not that big of a deal. The only other thing that Cabbages can beat is Liz Truss and who lasts longer.
I don't know if that's copyrighted. I'm not gonna risk it. We have saved the world, but what if I told you during this entire invasion, there was another major event going on? See, not a lot of people know this, but there's actually a collection of graphic novels, each with their own Plants vs. Zombies stories. Based on some hints, the first arc, Lawnmageddon, most likely takes place in the initial Neighborville outbreak, so it's also on May 5th, 2009. All of Neighborville's at the mercy.
Does Neighborville not have police? I feel like if a pea shooter can take down a zombie in like a few hits, that, I don't know, a gun would be quite strong against the... Am I wrong in this
The
assumption?
invasion. Everyone's sad and scared, especially two kids. There's one named Nate. He likes food and not dying. And then there's
Oh my god, we are the same. Me and him, me and Nate, we are the same. I also like those things.
Trees blazing, the niece of Crazy Dave, thus increasing the size of the Crazy Dave family tree. In case you're wondering, yes, Dave's the cool uncle. I mean, look at him. Now, funnily enough, this is the only time when Crazy Dave actually speaks proper English words that everybody understands, but this is gonna get retconned. Based on the format of the story, namely how he disappears for several extended periods, I'm gonna assume that Dave is going back and forth between his niece and neighbor in both of these events to help both groups out with his weaponized flora. This portion of the story ends with
Oh my god, did he make a T-Rex out of plants? That's actually really sick. And is that a piranha plant? Oh, it's another letter from Zomboss. Citizens of Neighborville, your continued antagonism against our rightful claim on your city and brains is noted. Action will be taken at another time. Sincerely, your best friend and lover and lifelong partner, Dr. Edgar Zomboss.
Zomboss being
Mwah, kisses.
for the first game. Then Dave runs back to the house and gets kidnapped, but long story short, now these kids and Zomboss are super duper enemies forever, and this will never change. Now, at minimum, the next arc, Time Apocalypse, has to play out before PvZ2. Not only does Zomboss create a time machine, but so does Crazy Dave. Most of this tale exists to perfectly counteract Zomboss's plans with Crazy Dave's plan.
Oh, this is like the going back in time to kill Hitler thing, except you go back in time to kill the zombie that was going to, well, you go back in time to kill the zombie that was going to take over the Roman Empire, thus stopping it from taking the Roman Empire. Then the timeline can move forward uninterrupted, unimpeded, which means that the zombies in the past actually came from Zomboss that had been sent back in time. This makes sense now. You know, I never thought that time machine would make something make sense. It usually just messes up the storyline, but now it makes sense. That the reason that the zombies existed in the past, but Zomboss was the creator of the zombies, is because they were sent back in time. That kind of makes sense, yeah. I get it.
Plants, Egypt, dinosaurs, prehistoric plants, pirates, specifically this one named Captain Chestbeard, who's kind of important. He can time travel too also. The three most important things of note here is that Crazy Dave is a fantastic disco doer. He's schmovin', the good guy gang makes a sun modifier, thus
This is important for the narrative, by the way. Yeah, the niece just absolutely wail on Zomboss. My pancreas. Do zombies need pancreases? What does a pancreas do?
Zomboss loses and gets punched in the pancreas, and weirdly enough, in this series, if a character time travels to an era where they are alive, they will age to whatever age they are in that time. For example, Nate and Patterrz both become adults when they teleport to the 2020s. By the way, the zombies win in the 2020s. Zomboss takes over in the year 2020.
The zombies win in the 2020s? That is way too accurate. You're telling me there's some kind of infection going around, although they're not actually infections, they're not actually diseases. It's just bringing something back from the dead.
The fact that there's even a chance Zomboss used that one thing 2020 is known for, that's in character. I guess he would use plagues. Following this, it's probably August 15th, 2013, PvZ2 time. Wait, never mind. May 20th, 2013, Facebook PvZ game. It's traditional tower offense, nobody cares.
Facebook PvC game? Are there still Facebook games going around? Do people still play Farmville?
Okay, now it's August 15th, 2013, and PvZ2 time for realsies. There's been several years worth of a time skip, but luckily we know that during all of that time, all Zomboss has been doing is trying to get the players and Dave's brain.
Wait, he's just been logging onto Xbox Live with the name Zombie Pones and probably getting some absolutely horrific, racist, slur-filled messages from someone on a Call of Duty Modern Warfare 2 lobby.
During all of it, he's doing all this in the middle of the day. Zomboss, all it takes is one act of foul play to burn down their homes. You know, for a guy with a brain large
No wonder he's so angry. This guy probably got so much hate crime done on him.
than Lake Ontario, you sure are a dummy little dumbass. On this day's invasion, one of the zombies drops some hot sauce. Crazy Dave then uses it on his taco. And I'm not joking, this taco is so good that he takes his magical flying time traveling recreational vehicle exclusively meant to time travel to go back a few minutes for that taco. I don't know how that would work. I feel like
this feels like it would mess with the continuum. Also, if you go back in time, then you would have went back in time. So when he ate the taco, he also would have been there. But you would be inside of the body of your younger self. So it's an infinite loop. It's an infinite loop and nothing would ever happen ever again.
Just be like stealing the taco from yourself. And fellas, this taco doomed all of history. By time traveling like this, Crazy Dave has not only fibbed up the space-time continuum, but Zomboss is using his didgeridoo Davy detector and also time travels with the zombies and sprinkles them throughout history. Because time travel is time travel and two separate parties are time traveling, that means Zomboss most likely went to 30 minutes after the dawn of time and left some zombs there. Therefore, everything up to this point and everything after is over a taco. I can't believe this is real. I guess what I'm trying to say is taco, time travel, zombies get made,
They need to stop saying taco. Listen, it's almost lunchtime. I'm a little hungers right now. A little hungers. So tone down on the taco. Does it have to be about that? Maybe we can make it about football instead.
Time travel, sprinkle back, paradox. Oh yeah, I'm guessing this also means Zomboss created his ancestors if he made the initial
Oh God, I thought he said incestors. What is wrong with me?
army, and then they actually became his ancestors when doing the time travel stuff, meaning that he's
That is incredibly messed up.
creating himself, I guess. Unlike every other zombie, he actually grows up, and the undead don't typically do that. Before the 21st century, he probably would have been considered a demon child, but luckily for him, modern times are more accepting. In fact, he's still based.
Oh, don't give me that. Don't give me the modern times. No. You think they're not going to be doing hate crimes on him all of the time? Also, he became his own parents. He became his own progeny. So is this the Futurama episode where they go back in time and Fry has sex with his grandma and it's like, you're your own granddad? That whole situation?
Basically just a human, but with bad dental, a weird skin condition, and an obsession with eating brains. So what's that about?
Oh, he's just a creep. He's just an ugly, freaky weirdo. Oh no, I'm doing the prejudice. No, he's not. He's so pretty. I would kiss him.
Long story short, if I were to guess, one of his parents were freaky, and the other parent was freaky. Ew! Time for a time travel battle. Back to the modern day, the traditional PvZ antics play out until Zomboss drops a taco. This time it has a waffle on it. This satisfies Crazy Dave's need to get another taco, and the universe has been saved once again as both threats to the space-time continuum have been neutralized thanks to some epic Mexican cuisine with me.
Do we think that this would be a good combination? Obviously, waffles and tacos by themselves are good, but if you combine the two, obviously there's a sweet and salty combination going on there, but I really don't think the flavors would mesh.
Syrup on top. China. Depending on where you ask, Plants vs. Zombies is different, especially in China. They got their own versions of the games, extra content, extra levels, extra plants, some even being crossovers. Apparently it's buggy though. The last time I talked about this series, but a lot of people got mad at me over that. I wouldn't know. I'm not from China. So, sorry. This version even got some
Why would China get mad?
crossovers, like this one with Subway Surfers. Get out of here!
Subway Surfers and Plants vs. Zombies, this is the ultimate TikTok game.
I don't like you. You're not my friend. You're gross, you're weird, you're ugly, you're smelly, and you wear a hat. Alright? You're not welcome here? Go away! Evil Dave. This is Dave's evil brother who is here exclusively to make fun of Crazy Dave. I know a little Chinese, but I'm not gonna attempt translating his iconic catchphrases. This is like if a third Mario brother existed, but only for Irish copies of Mario games. Now, I would argue both sides are morally gray at this point. Zomboss is not only petty, but also jealous and ruining all of history over a science fair. Crazy Dave is the
Is that morally gray? I don't know if we consider that one morally gray.
smartest idiot around, and everybody knows that's usually not a good thing. They are both entities of instinct, and I think the rest of the comics and games help to illustrate their respective insanities.
I think that Dave is morally gray because he's too stupid to understand. Well, he's smart, but he's too stupid to understand what's going on. He is a high intelligence but low wisdom character, whereas Zomboss is a high intelligence, medium wisdom. Like, he knows what he's doing. Dave has no clue what's going on most of the time, but he knows how to make a time machine. Not very wise, that Dave, but morally gray, probably. Zomboss, definitely evil. Probably more like neutral evil, though.
Take, for example, the college revenge arc. Zomboss went to zombie college, and he was a dick. He was tying spiders to people's shoes, he was feeding folks to moon sharks, and he was ableist. Not a good dude.
He was ableist? It's a crazy thing to be when you have the head the size of a water balloon.
Climax of this includes him stealing a thesis from another educated zombie. He's awful. Important to note, college...
Wait a minute, he stole a thesis from a zombie, but he also created the zombie. Ergo, the creation of his creation maybe his property as well? No, wait, because that would mean that parents own everything that their children create. That's a terrible idea. No, never mind. I take it back. That was awful. I shouldn't have said that.
Grad zombies can talk. For example, when his bullies return to bully, they can speak proper English. In their revenge, they intend to revoke his Scientology doctorate and take over Neighborville instead of him. And that is bad, and they all knock it off. Meanwhile, the police have taped off Crazy Dave as he attempts to finish ice cream before it melts.
What? What?
He fails.
Yes?
So
Oh, no.
he makes flame-resistant ice cream. That is what he's doing. In Grown's sweet home, the plants are sleepy from Crazy Dave's antics, so they move out and try living alone. So the humans teach the plants how to be functioning adults, and Zomboss, remembering his college days, remembers how to plagiarize by planting cameras in their home, and starts teaching zombies how to human as well. I guess Nate and Patterrz don't have parents. They live with plants for the next several weeks. Eventually, both parties are able to successfully blend in, but the plants learn a little bit better, so when they meet up with Zomboss, they run away, but Zomboss goes, "No, we're better." So they have a human off and take a break at 5 o'clock.
A human off? It's time to quit work for the day and go home because they're humans, and that's what humans do. I clock in for my 9 to 5, and then I go home at 5 o'clock, and then I spend time with my wife and family and dog.
Meanwhile, Crazy Dave is making spaghetti. He fails.
How, just water, spaghetti, and nothing else? No, hey, that's not right. It's not just water, spaghetti, and nothing else. It's a healthy pinch of salt as well. You need to salt your spaghetti water.
Working overtime, the children sneak in the zombie base for the next day. There's a parade battle, but since Dave loves parades, they win. And I'm not kidding, this conflict ends when the kids out a few zombies for eating Zomboss's Pop-Tarts, so he has everybody else jump him. And this is when Dr. Zomboss really kicks it into high gear with the absolute peak of his wrath. From February 25th, 2014 to at least February 23rd, 2016, there were
a solid 2 years.
the legendary saga of garden warfare. The time of walking to the plants slowly has ended, my friends. This is war, and only the strongest will survive! Dr. Zomboss recruits some of his top soldiers to lead his armada to victory, while Crazy Dave modifies some of his plants to be even larger and more powerful. In the first game, it's
Oh no, this is an acceleration of weapon technology research. This is not good. This is gonna end up with a plant nuke of some kind.
pure Armageddon. Crazy Dave commands his team to regain lost land of Neighborville, while Zomboss builds larger mechs and forts. This is a genuine war with attempted assassinations and tactical nukes. Later on, when the plants start...
I knew there'd be nukes in this.
Naperville is looking more like Zomtown, as Zomboss manages to build numerous deathly bases. The Leaf branch of the military
Where are we getting the funding from this? Seriously, where's the money coming from for this Zomboss? Is he getting funded by Russia?
that's cute, asks one plant to come out of retirement. And so, the Corn Man has to get his shit together and join the fight. But I don't know
Why does he
has
look like
corn.
that?
This is upsetting. The comic that goes over this event provides more story. Nate and Patterrz come from the future to truly end the fight. This is making the taco situation more confusing. On the contrary, though, Zomboss is using time portals to bring in more zombies through all of history. All the other citizens are invited to an ice cream cruise ship, so that explains why
Oh, I just went on a cruise ship. Let me tell you, I kind of get why people like them now.
Dave's the only human in, like, the Garden Warfare franchise right now. There
Oh no, he dropped the free ice cream ticket. Now he won't get his free ice cream. Oh my goodness, what are these? Is this some kind of healing mage? And an orange? I do like a good orange. Oh yeah, it is. You can see the peels or its legs. It's like a droidica, but it's oranges instead.
two other plants, Rose and Citron, who have their origins revealed. Rose simply came from the past. There's not much to add there, but in the future, a little citrus volunteered for Crazy Dave's Super Soldier project, but Crazy Dave accidentally added an extra ingredient to the concoction.
Oh no, did he add sugar, spice, everything nice, and chemical X?
Cologne. Thus,
Oh,
Citron was born, and he
Oh no, he's hot.
looks like that. Please stop looking at me like that. Lots of fighting, lots of antics, lots of duels. It's super cool and intense. After hours of intense fighting, the plants are victorious. And what is Dave up to? Well, he's using frogs to close the zombie time portals.
Nice.
Okay.
Good job,
Also,
guys.
Gnomes. There's gnomes now. They hate both sides, and they even came from an alternate
They're base centrists. They hate both sides.
dimension. You know what that means. PVZ is part of a multiverse. Are you even surprised anymore? Like, genuinely. Every time. It's a multiverse.
As soon as you introduce time travel, that's exactly where it has to go. You have to have multiple universes, because there has to be multiple timelines. It doesn't make sense otherwise.
October 18th, 2016, PVZ heroes, somehow Crazy Dave and Zomboss both agreed on temporarily being giant scary floating arms, and Zomboss uses a machine called the Herotron 5000 to turn a bunch of regular zombies into heroes. This misfires and creates the Green Shadow. I don't feel comfortable around pea shooters, never have, never will. Yeah, this is not helping. With that, the plants get a whole army of heroes, and you get the idea.
Oh, this was 110% during Marvel Mania, wasn't it? When Marvel movies and superhero movies started to rank up and crank up and everyone started to like them more. Every single franchise out there is like, how can we do superhero mobile games? We need to do it. Everybody wants a superhero mobile game now. Everyone's got superheroes. Everyone's got your Overwatch.
Yeah, from here, it's just plants go to place, breaking the legs and vital organs of each and every zom they come across. This is actually pretty easy to understand. September 4th, 2019. Battle for Neighborville. War be happening again. In between wars, Crazy Dave has been recognized as a worldwide savior. Despite all the trials and tribulations he's endured, he's saved the world a countless amount of times. He's such an icon, he's a costume in Little Big Planet 3. So, I mean, basically the next George Washington. So now he has a mansion.
Oh,
That's
good for him.
Now, story-wise,
Oh, nice.
this is very much like the other games.
Damn, we are cranking up. We got trees now?
More so a collection of larger battles with top soldiers on both sides working to take down the other. Based on previous hints, we can also confirm that the plants most likely won the previous warfares, trapping most
Good
of the
job,
zombies
guys.
until that doesn't happen, and now violence. But again, the gnomes are back, the evil plans revolving around the moon are back. Honestly, it's very formulaic. Zomboss keeps goofing his gunk up. All it would take is some weed killer to stop the plants. All it would take to beat the zombies is some violence. Dr. Zomboss.
Some violence? Seriously, you just get a little fire. What's the plants gonna do against a little fire? I play too much Pokemon. It's super effective. Oh my god.
This is a net negative for society. I'm shocked he's still alive. The remainder of the comics helps show more.
How has he not been assassinated? Why did the president not get sealed Plant Team 6 to go and take him out?
The characters.
You could pop him so easily. Just takes a sharpened pencil.
Some of the problems they have. From this point on, the cycle starts to advance and kind of just become repetitive, each issue going from major arcs to one-off stories. The remaining portion of the comic can go virtually anywhere post Garden Warfare 2, and it still makes sense. The next issue is Pedal to the Metal. Cars. Nate challenges Zomboss to a race war, but since all the plants were busy racing the zombies, the other ones take over. Humans win when Zomboss slips on a banana peel. Then the kids throw a pizza.
Oh, they have a Mario Kart arc? That's awesome. That's how you know people are feeding for a Mario Kart 9 so badly. Like, oh, we got those DLC courses. Yeah, but we need the next Mario Kart. The next innovation in kart and technology needs to come out soon, Nintendo.
Party, they do this a lot. Also, all Crazy Dave was doing was being the designated driver and playing a game called Don't Blink. This is humanity's savior. Next is Boom Boom Mushroom. The zombies want to make a cavern base and sink Neighborville by digging all of Earth under it so everything collapses. Oh, but don't worry, this is not going to be an issue because Crazy Dave, off screen, won a pet pig named Twister from a singing competition in Guatemala and went on legendary quests through the land finding the Boom Boom Mushroom. It's a nuke. And they all want it. So using Twister's pig smell, they find the bomb and make a trap that ends with Zomboss being trampled by bulls. In Battle Extravaganza, there's a guy who...
So that's what happened to the let's build underneath the town plan. It just went on side quests. Crazy Dave has done so many side quests. He has so much experience. He has not touched the main quest lines. It's like me when I play Skyrim. Just do every single side quest I possibly can. Oh, dragons? Pfft, don't care about dragons. Why should I care about the dragons when I could go and collect 15 lettuce to give to Jimmy down street?
Turned red from eating too much of his beet bread, and now he's red. That rhymes. I'm gonna get a water real quick. Now he's red and he wants to sell his factory. Both parties want it. This is where I remind you Crazy Dave has proven to be one of the most important people in the world with connections to real-world governments, and Zomboss has proved to be a threat. Realistically, the government owes Dave this factory. We are officially at the point where this is basically a cartoon with burnout, and they just throw up ideas. Zomboss does some human trafficking for a zombie circus, enforces a famine. Worst of all, he joins a book club that he's actually passionate about, and then freaking Davey shows up and ruins it, so now both sides are
They're in the same book club? Can they even read?
trying to get more people in their book club. That's the plot of this one. Truthfully, especially later on, these stories become more one-off-ish and don't amount to that much. It's mostly treated like a weekly scheduled event at this point. There's nothing wrong with that, I just wasn't expecting it. Their relationships have all stagnated to a tragic level of repetition where everyone just does enough to enjoy their lives and not think about what exactly they're doing with themselves. This is the game.
We need more Plants vs. Zombies depth in this. I do love Phineas and Ferb, though.
Equivalent of Phineas and Ferb. Zomboss and Doofenshmirtz even have the same voice actor. I think this...
Really? Oh, okay, I'm sold. I absolutely love Phineas and Ferb. It was so good.
Especially the point where I reflected upon everything that came before. Like an insane genius and a petty dead man doomed all of history with their mere existence. In the PvZ world, these two have forced all of time to endure a hellscape of zombies roaming through history. And for what? A taco? A science fair? The fact that out of billions of years...
It really was just the pettiness of the science fair situation that caused all of this.
Zombies have literally not only been a threat for all but 30 minutes across all that time, just because of this stuff is a little bit funny. The taco better have cured AIDS, and that science fair prize better have made, like, the 119th element, because even if that stuff was the case, they would only, like, balance out the consequences they caused by, like, 2%? Anyways, war's done. I would argue this is one of those wars where nobody exactly won, but everyone definitely lost. Especially the gnomes, they super lost. They're out of the story now. The zombies have been—
Oh, they've just been completely wiped out. The based gnome race is completely gone, guys.
basically retreated to their norm in Neighborville, and though all the land has been regained, we have to rebuild. And that pretty gracefully slides into the time point of January 17th, 2024.
Oh my god, current day.
Plants vs. Zombies 3, a proper and prepared and beautiful continuation into
Oh, this looks nice. I didn't even know they were making a new one.
classic gameplay, with a new coat of paint that includes plants that don't make me want to say my safe word as much. So get this, Dr. Zomboss remembering every single one of his endless amount of defeats, remembering all those years he's tried and failed that's amounted to nothing.
He has learned absolutely nothing. He has gone back to square one, and he's just invading it. You know what? Sometimes it just needs to be a little bit simple sometimes. Sometimes you don't need to take over the entire world. Sometimes you don't need a nuke, or you don't need to destroy an entire city. Sometimes you just need to invade a man's lawn, you know?
All those horrible atrocities that have wasted everyone's time. After spending an extended period thinking about his life, his actions, his consequences, all of the failures that led to this very moment, he decides to do the unthinkable.
The exact same thing that he did at the very beginning.
It's time to invade Neighborville again. Oh, what? You thought
Yeah!
there was gonna be more? No, it's just Plants vs. Zombies. The plants are good, the zombies are bad. I see this more as
Honestly, I'm just shocked that there is any kind of story behind this whatsoever.
they're running low on materials after a decade of Xbox Live profile pic material. I can see their mitochondrias. That's how high definition they are. But yeah, that's my justification for the events going on here. There's not many accessible plants or zombies and stuff. So now, we're right back at the start. One Nimrod forcing another into an endless battle with no outcome or change, with the same stuff, in the same place, repeating over and over with their own little twists added each time.
But it is fun though, right?
The story is the definition of insanity, which fits these two perfectly.
They do look completely insane. One is really called Crazy David. Just a sharpened pencil would take him out so easily, I swear it
Why
would.
does anyone live in Naperville, by the way? A single gun could be the game changer. I'm shocked the zombies have—
That's what I'm saying. I said that right at the beginning. I've been saying that for years.
Crazy Dave has military connections. He's simply choosing to prolong this. I see it. Oh, those eyes, they look like mine.
Well, he got retconned out of being able to speak English, so I'd imagine it's kind of hard to communicate these higher thoughts and higher subjects like that.
As Crazy Dave would always say, gargle flarb flarb, and really, that's how I would best describe this tale. Random, but consistent. Just like this franchise, and just like these characters. Well, that's all, folks. I came up with a
Hey, that was good. That was a lot of fun. I enjoyed that. You know, the fact that, again, that there's even any kind of story behind this whatsoever is really cool. And the gameplay of the games do look really fun as well. Garden Warfare looked like a lot of fun. The characters, the designs of the characters are interesting and cool. It's just a little fun. It's a little goofiness. I mean, there's bizarre lore of Subway Surfers. If you'd like to take a look at some more crazy lore, just let me know. I would highly recommend you go and subscribe to Chopo. Links in the description, as it always is. And if you want to see more of my dumb face, then you can always subscribe here as well.